So, if you have been needing a little inspiration, a quiet moment, or just a break from all the noise around you, this video is for you. You can simply sit back and watch for a while, or maybe open your own canvas beside me and create something too. In today's video, I will be creating 4 cozy landscape paintings on Procreate, and honestly, each one slowly started carrying a completely different feeling while I was making them. And I don't know, by the end, these paintings ended up teaching me something I really wasn't expecting at all. So stay with me for a little while, get yourself comfortable, and let's quietly create something peaceful together. Today's paintings are all created using brushes from my cozy and cuddly Procreate brush pack, and really, each landscape slowly started carrying such a different feeling while I was painting them. But I have to say, I truly love how the last one turned out. I can't wait to show you that one. Before starting this painting, I wanted to show you the Procreate brush I used for this one. And I really loved how calming this whole artwork felt by the end. So let's slowly watch it come together. I really think art moves with us through different sessions of life. And for me, landscapes have always felt deeply connected to that in such a personal way. I actually started painting through traditional landscapes years ago, and I remember how much I used to get lost in them. The colors, the skies, little pathways, rivers, all those quiet details. But I also feel that every artist goes through seasons where certain things begin to feel distant from them for a while, and landscapes became one of those things for me. Not because I stopped loving them, but I think sometimes when something means a lot to us creatively, we become a little scared of losing that connection with it too. And while I was making this painting, I wasn't even trying to create something impressive. I just wanted to sit down and slowly make something again. Something peaceful, something soft, something that could take me away from all the noise in my mind for a little while. The little river, the bright greens, the purple mountains far away, the movement in the sky. It all slowly started coming together in such a comforting way, and I feel like that's one of the most beautiful things about art sometimes. And for me, this painting really became that kind of reminder that even if creativity changes with time, even if we step away from certain things for a while, the connection is never truly gone. Sometimes it just waits for us to slowly return again. And here's how this first landscape finally turned out. Really, I feel like this one became such a peaceful little place by the end. I would actually love to know which part of the painting felt the most calming to you while watching. So for this painting, I used a Procreate brush that felt really soft and comforting to create with. And I feel like that feeling stayed in the artwork too. While I was painting this one, I kept thinking about how easy it is for us as artists to feel like we are always supposed to be doing more. More paintings, more ideas, more progress, more improvement. And sometimes, without realizing it, we start putting so much pressure on ourselves creatively that even sitting down to make something begins to feel really heavy. But this landscape really kept pulling me away from that feeling while I was working on it. The open space, the slow river moving through everything, the soft hills stretching into the distance, and the sky opening up above it all. It all felt so calm and unhurried to me. And I think that's why I connected to this one so much while painting it. Because nature never really rushes. And I feel like creativity probably isn't supposed to rush either. Sometimes we think growth only happens when we are constantly creating or doing something big. But really, I think some of the most important seasons for artists are the quieter ones, the slower ones. I mean, the ones where we're just trying to reconnect with ourselves again, little by little. And I don't know, I feel like artists understand this in such a deep way because art becomes connected to everything happening in our lives, our thoughts, our fears, our struggles, our hopes, our changing emotions. All of it somehow slips into the artwork without us even planning it. And while I was painting all these tiny little brushstrokes into the trees and hills, I kept thinking about how every painting really asks us to trust the process a little. And this painting really started feeling like that kind of reminder for me that maybe creativity doesn't always need to feel loud or any sort of dramatic to still matter deeply. Sometimes the quiet return is meaningful too. So this is the finished second painting, and I don't know, something about this one feels really open and comforting to me. So, to know the landscapes so far are you connecting with the most? So now for this Procreate brush made the whole process feel really easy and relaxing for me. And I honestly ended up loving how cozy this painting turned out. So while I was painting this one, I kept thinking about how easy it is for us as artists to slowly drift away from the simple joy of creating. I think when we first begin making art, everything feels exciting in such a natural way. We are curious, we experiment, we play with colors, we enjoy the process without thinking too much about the outcome. But somewhere along the way, especially after years of creating, I feel like art can slowly start carrying pressure too. I mean, pressure to improve faster, pressure to always create something meaningful, pressure to stay inspired all the time, and sort of pressure to make every artwork turn out beautifully. And I feel like I have gone through seasons where all of that made creativity feel heavier than it needed to be. But while I was painting this landscape, something about it slowly softened that feeling for me. The warm sunlight in the sky, the bright greens everywhere, the reflections moving through the water, all of it. I started feeling so peaceful and comforting while I was building the painting little by little. And I don't know, it almost reminded me of why I loved art in the first place. Not because it made me perfect, not because every painting worked out, but because creating something slowly with my own hands always felt like a quiet escape from everything else happening around me. And what else I'd say? Maybe this painting became a quiet reminder of that for me. That art can still become a peaceful and hopeful place, even after seasons where creativity felt distant or heavy for a while. And this is how the third one finally came together. I honestly love how warm and cozy this painting started feeling by the end. By the way, I would love to know if colorful landscapes like this inspire you to create too. Let me know. For the last painting, yes, finally, I picked a Procreate brush that made creating feel really calming from the beginning. And I am so excited for you to see how this one slowly came together in the end. So while I was painting this one, I kept slowing down more and more without even realizing it. At first, I thought I was just going to make another landscape painting for this video. Something peaceful and colorful to work on for a while. But the longer I sat with it, the more I started thinking about how deeply connected art becomes to our life seasons as an artist. And I don't think people always talk about that part enough because from the outside it can just look like we are painting mountains or rivers or trees or skies. But inside, it's usually so much more than that. I think every artist quietly goes through that. So listen carefully. There are seasons where creating feels natural and exciting, and then there are seasons where even opening your sketchbook or, your iPad, like you're working on Procreate, it feels difficult for some reason. And sometimes that feeling lasts longer than we expect. I truly admit it. And by the end, the whole painting started feeling peaceful in a way I didn't expect. That happens to me a lot, actually. I start painting with one emotion and somehow leave with another. And maybe that's one of the most beautiful things about being an artist. And I think this painting became a reminder of that for me while I was making it. So here's the final landscape all finished. And really, I feel like this one quietly became one of my favorites. And now I really want to know which one of all four paintings would you most want to step inside for a little while? And I think that's what I want this video to remind you of too. Remember, sometimes the artwork that comforts you the most is the one you almost didn't start. So if you have been feeling disconnected from creativity lately, or if your mind has been feeling a little heavy, maybe this is your reminder to create something small again. Come on, even a few brushstrokes, even a simple sketch. Because art has this quiet way of meeting us exactly where we are. And maybe that's why so many of us keep returning to it through every season of life. And if creating paintings feels inspiring to you, I also have art classes where I share my full process in a simple and encouraging way so you can create along with me at your own pace and slowly build confidence in your own style too. Thank you for spending this slow, cozy, creative time with me today. And I hope somewhere inside these paintings you found a little bit of peace, comfort, or inspiration for yourself too. Have a beautiful day.